Hi, I've written a letter to the press, and I just wanted to share it with you because I thought that many of you would probably agree with me. This is an open letter to the news media. You have hated Donald Trump since he was the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party. You wanted Hillary to be president and did everything in your power to make that happen. You failed, and yet you did not miss a beat. You began bashing him, lying about him, distorting the truth as if you were the Democrat Party itself. You were shameless in pushing the Russia collusion delusion. You wanted it to be true, but you knew it wasn't. And yet you pushed it to the point of only allowing people who would perpetuate the lie on your shows. Your so-called experts included people like John Brennan, who was perhaps the very one who orchestrated Spygate. You sat back and cheered while the Obama administration spied on and falsely accused the Trump campaign of colluding with Russia. You knew they had not. You continued to cheer as James Comey pushed for a special counsel, even though you knew there was no reason for it. No matter what the president said or did not say, you put words in his mouth and his administration that suited your narrative. You continued to insist that the president was going to jail, that he was not going to finish his first term. When the Mueller report came out, you insisted Bob Mueller himself needed to testify because something was absent from that report, even though you knew that every word of that report was true. Surely someone had doctored it in some way, and then he testified. And for a moment, even you paused, took a breath, and tried to explain your obvious dereliction of duty. I remember John Brennan saying, I think I got some misinformation somewhere. Yeah, right, John. Misinformation. Then there was Ukraine. Aha, that is it. You accused the president of basically doing what the Obama administration had done, trying to dig up dirt on an opponent. That was ludicrous on its face, but you didn't care. He was trying to get dirt on an opponent, Joe Biden, except Joe Biden wasn't really his opponent. And what Joe Biden and his son did should have been investigated years ago, but it wasn't, not really. And you kept saying no one ever found anything wrong with what he did, except that is because no one ever investigated it. I wonder where our investigative reporters were back then. And then the president was impeached, and you cheered and touted his guilt and declared what he did was worse than Watergate, except the facts did not prove your narrative. So once again, you made them up, twisted things around, took things out of context, and you lost again. In between all of this, you trashed the reputation of a decent man in Brett Kavanaugh. You bought every single lie told about him and sought his demise, and you lost. But you touted the virtues of one Michael Avenatti and suggested he run for president. And you saw him as your savior, the one who would save us from Orange Man Bad. Where is he now? Rotting in jail. Guilty. You lost. Again. And then there was the FISA report that came out, proving that the FBI had done these horrific things. And what did you do but downplay it? Not even show it on your shows. You couldn't allow that. You have trashed every member of the president's family and every single member of his staff, his cabinet, and his supporters. You have called him a liar, a traitor, a dictator, Hitler, Stalin, anything else that popped into your pea brains. And now the country is going through this horrific pandemic. And you, what are you doing? But bashing the president again. He closed the border to China. You called him xenophobic. Then you found out by closing the border, he may have actually saved lives. So then you said, why didn't he close it sooner? You're lying about him again, and you're playing on people's fears and telling us how bad he is. And you will lose again, because you are picking on the wrong man and trying to scare the wrong people. We see through you. We know your agenda, and we are not buying it. You are preaching to your own choir, which is shrinking by the minute. I see them every day on social media walking away from the Democrat Party, vowing never to vote Democrat again. In essence, they are walking away from you. When this is over, and it will be, the president will come out smelling like a rose, and you will smell like the skunks you are. In the end, this will prove to be his finest hour and your worst. At some point, you have to ask yourselves, what if he is right? What if we are wrong? But no, you know he's right. You know you're wrong. And yet you continue in your arrogant ways, bashing him and telling us we were wrong to vote for him once, and we will be wrong to vote for him again. And he will win the election in a landslide. You could have been on the right side of history, but alas, you are too arrogant, too blind, and some would say too stupid to see what is right in front of your faces. Donald Trump is president of we the people. We know who he is. We see what he does. We have longed for a president who would stand up to the press and the naysayers, who would dance to a different tune and not care what others thought, make decisions that were best for us, even if they weren't politically correct. He is a rough and tumble kind of man. He is our president, and we get on our knees every day and thank God that he is. And in the annals of history, he will go down as a great president. They will say he was right more than he was wrong. And the press has bet on the wrong horse. And you will go down as the sewer rats you are. Wrong more than you were right. Totally and completely lying about this president. In the end, we win. Which, by the way, is the meaning of the word Covfefe. Thank you, and God bless you all. Goodbye.